Yes, I think the work environment has changed at our field facilities, in so far as the way we approach the processes and the tools we're using are now much more embedded into our business. The work of the Total Reliability Program with SAMI has become much more a part of the way we do things, as opposed to an addition to what we're trying to achieve. It's aligned in with our business strategy and direction, and also aligned with our business objectives. Prior to our working with SAMI and working on the Total Reliability Program, we had a lot of inconsistent ways of doing things. If you went from one location to another, you would find things being done differently, albeit potentially in the same manner or with the same words or the same tools, but again there was individual customization. One of the things we achieved through phase one of the SAMI work was to have a one process approach to all of our facilities. Now if you move from one location to another, you will see a huge correlation and consistency from each location. That enables people to move from one location to another and not have to go through a new learning curve or learn a new way of doing things, but to be able to build on what they already know. It also allows us to seek out and rapidly transfer best practices because of the consistency from one location to another. When we look to SAMI, as with any external consultant or support that we get, you're not just looking for the skills of the people, but also the way they deliver their product or their service. I think when it comes to the implementation of our Total Reliability Program, it wasn't just the content knowledge that we needed from the consultants, but it was also the way they have the coaching skills and the way they're able to interact and to build credibility in the workforce, to come across much more of a, we're working this together, we're in this together, so a joint approach as opposed to an external instruction or an external criticism. So one of the things we see in the SAMI people is both content knowledge and skills with regard to asset management, methodology, maintenance management, operational reliability, but also in the way that they are able to work with the field operators, the equipment owners, the field supervisors, and also leaders across the locations, and be able to understand and find some level to work with each individual to get the most out of them. So again, very much a balance of content skills and coaching skills. One of the things SAMI was able to do was to fit in with our organisation and to work well at our field locations. It's very much, again, the skills we were looking for in the coaching, but also being able to adapt the methodology. We took the SAMI asset management pyramid and we actually made a few changes or modifications in order to have it better fit our business objectives and also the way we could phase our implementation. There was a number of items that potentially would have been in phase one that we were able to adjust to phase two, and we also changed the delivery and the approach between phase one and phase two. I think that was an example of where SAMI was very able to customize their approach, to be able to adapt it in order to meet our business objectives and also work with our capability and capacity and our ability to manage change and manage the pace of change. Ultimately, we are looking for long-term sustainable benefits. We're a number of years into the program and we have certainly seen some incremental benefits over the last couple of years. Those benefits include having a consistent tools and processes in place and having those processes much more embedded into our organisation and the way we do things. One thing SAMI also has done is worked with us to establish key performance indicators and measures to be able to demonstrate hard change in the organisation. Over the past few years we have seen significant improvement in our deferment, our platform uptimes, which obviously the Total Reliability Program working with SAMI has made a major contributor towards. We've also been able to measure absolute in absolute terms, the decrease in our operating cost at our field locations. So our direct operating cost has come down to a measurable degree throughout the program implementation. We've also been able to look at other more specific measures such as labour utilisation, work prioritisation, and some of the process measures. And again, in almost every case, we are measuring change, positive change on the processes and the tools that we're applying. Obviously, to be able to see long-term change, we're going to want to continue to monitor those trends, monitor the key performance indicators over a much greater period of time. So hopefully in the 3, 5 and 10 year time frame, we can continue to show progress and equally avoid any backslipping in those measures that we may see. So having the right measures in place and using those measures effectively, I think will drive long-term change. To this point in time, we have seen incremental change over the last 2-3 years in most of our business indicators and process indicators. SAMI has a solid methodology. Their asset management system or program clearly has been well thought through, is very applicable to a range of businesses and industry. The way it is phased, it makes it a very solid implementable plan, coupled with the flexibility to be able to modify and adjust to fit the business needs and objectives. So SAMI has a good approach to working with companies also. I've found them go into our program very much focused on demonstrated measurable improvements as opposed to theoretical commitments or possible improvements. But from the very outset, we had a very clear expectation in hard measures, and we also had a clear process by which we would measure sustainability through a series of audits and reviews. So coupled together with the audit and the key performance indicators that we had in place, I think that made a very solid approach that also was key to being able to move into phase 2. By being able to demonstrate that phase 1 was a success, it really was an enabler to go ahead with phase 2. SAMI also has a very solid way of getting leadership commitment. They recognise the value of having our senior management supporting the program, of having people in leadership positions recognise their role, and having a structured approach to having the right level of sponsorship, championship, direction and steer, and setting up that structure in the organisation for sustainable improvement. The leadership within SAMI has obviously got a very clear vision that they display within the asset management system and the product. Working with a number of the SAMI leaders, it's clear that they have passion and commitment to this program and these processes. SAMI as an organisation has a lot of strengths. Clearly their leadership is solid and understands their objectives and what they're trying to achieve. Their approach to working with companies is very much one of collaboration, and very much one of making sure that they deliver what the customer or what the company they're working with is looking to achieve. They're obviously diverse in the companies they deal with, so again they bring a broad range of external expertise, and they bring a lot of experience. They've seen a lot of different processes, a lot of different companies trying to implement change, so they bring with them that knowledge of both successes and failures to help us stay the course. The other aspect of SAMI is obviously it's a company that's made up of people. So the challenge in that aspect is always to have the best people and the right people, and have those people committed to the program and working with it. So one of the challenges I think SAMI faces, as with other consultants and indeed any other company, is making sure that the right people are attracted and retained, and therefore rewarded and recognised for the work they do. And I think that will always be a challenge for any industry, especially in the consulting world where it is it's a competitive environment, and people obviously want to feel that they're doing the right things and getting a lot of reward from the work that they do. So They have great people, they have great leadership, their methodology is solid. One of the challenges they will always face is making sure that they keep the right people and they deploy the people as best they can.